Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Online Music Promotion Summit. I'm so excited to have you all here today. Now, this summit was created to bring independent artists and music professionals together with tools, resources, and strategies to grow your music career in meaningful ways. Now, the one thing we wanted to do different with this summit was not just hear from the experts talking about music promotion, but to bring in people who are actually out there doing it. That's why we're starting with a band that is in the trenches, making waves and achieving incredible success. We thought it was important to learn directly from someone out there living it day to day. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Darrell Campbell, and I'm the host of this summit. Now, I spent my career working with talented artists, and I'm passionate about bringing you the experts and connecting you in inspiring ways that can help your career. So I'm thrilled to introduce to you today our first guest, Randy Webb. Now, he's the lead singer of an incredible band called One Day Alive. Randy is a singer, songwriter, and lead vocalist for the band, which has recently hit a huge milestone of 1 million Spotify streams. Now, he's here to share his insights, strategies, and see what led to his amazing accomplishments. Welcome, Randy. How are you today?
Good. How you doing, man?
Oh, I am fantastic. Randy, can you tell me a bit about yourself and how One Day Alive came together as a band?
Yeah, so you want the real long rock and roll version or the summary here?
You know what? You can go either way you want. We have time. Let's go with the long rock and roll version.
Let's go the long rock. Okay, so the long version, the life version. I played regionally, like we all do locally and all that stuff. Kind of was like, man, never really caught on, was doing big in the local scene, but never got outside that. I kind of backed away, and one day a guy called me that was like a local promoter and hooked me up with a guy that was a guitar player that was forming a band, and we just started writing. I hooked up with him and kind of instantly started writing. We wrote the first song, Nowhere, acoustic, just him and I. And our drummer, Garfield, was always kind of a big brother guy to me. He was that guy that everybody needs one of these guys, I'll tell you right now. And it will not say, oh man, it's awesome. He'll be like, if you brought him something that was bad, he'd be like, why? So he was a straight shooter, I could always depend on him. So we wrote the song Nowhere acoustic. I brought him like a cell phone recording, and he's been in the business, for a while. So I always valued his word, and he was like, man, I think you really might have something, with this song. And making it shorter, I asked him that we didn't have a band yet, basically. It was me and a guitar player. So we asked him to come in and lay down some drum tracks, and he started hearing the other stuff we were working on. He was like, man, I'm just going to be your drummer. And then it just kind of picked up from there. So that was basically the formation of the band. You throw in, our guitarist also is Jason Knoll from a band most people know called Saving Abel, multi-platinum artist. He plays with us. He called on, run-ins with him and the mutual people, and he started producing, doing some production work with us, and ended up playing with us in the band as well as Saving Abel. So those were some expertise to have right there. But that's the long story, short, mid-of-the-road version we threw together.
Okay. So, Randy, what inspired you to become a singer-songwriter and to pursue music as your career?
So, to be honest, mine was more of a personal thing. My oldest brother, he was quite a bit older than me. He was a vocalist, a singer, and he passed away when I was about 14 in a car accident.
Sorry to hear that.
And I kind of your oldest brother, we were more a decade apart, more so. He was probably, I think he was 20, something like that. So you always idolize your big brother when you're little, and I just kind of followed in his footsteps. He had some of his equipment around, and I would pick it up and sing the songs on the radio that he had, through the speaker and all that. And one day I was like, man, I had people coming around, like neighborhood kids, your sister's friends and all that, starting to listen, and that kind of gives you your first taste of performing. You're in your bedroom, but you got all the neighborhood kids coming into the bedroom and stuff while you're rocking out. that was kind of my honest entry to it, and it just stuck. And I have another older brother who's a fantastic guitar player. So as I got a little bit older, 15, 16, 17, I had the luxury of having a pretty skilled guitar player there to, play music with and write with, so that kind of helped out.
Yes. Wow, that's great. I see. It's like music runs in your family, huh?
It does. My dad was a guitar player too. Not the best singer, but he was a guitar player. Wow. So my cousins and uncles and everybody's pretty musically gifted. My Uncle Tom was a phenomenal bluegrass player, actually. Wow. I remember coming in little and seeing a bunch of picks on his fingers. And those guys can play.
Yeah. Bluegrass is a whole nother level when it comes to playing. Man, you're like, what?
Yeah. What is going on over there? But I remember watching him when I was a kid, like, whoa.
Yeah.
So I've been around it.
Yeah, and it's also so inspiring to hear. I hate to hear your brother pass away, but you carrying on that legacy, along with your other brother that kind of helped push you along too. So that support is always important.
And when you do it that young, man, and I guess sometimes everybody's got their own reason, but that's just my personal reason. And you grow an emotional attachment to it, and it became a way of expression for me growing up. Going through a lot of that stuff, I would write it and I would sing it, and
therapy
always helped me. I kind of found my own therapy. And as I got a little older playing, I started to realize, when you connect with people, you can see that on stage sometime, when you're performing and you really see the, wow, man, like they're really, relating to this. I think that's the reason that I kept doing it, thinking about it as I got a little bit older, a little more, playing out live in your bars when you first start and people catching on, to your stuff that way.
Well, I can feel your passion. I'm sure the audience can as well. So your band just recently hit over 1 million Spotify streams. First of all, congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
So what do you think was the biggest factor in achieving that particular milestone?
Man, so I think that there's a lot of different factors that I'm learning and promoting a song, I mean, today it ain't the 90s anymore. Like, no giant label. If you're in the rock scene, I mean, no giant label is just going to come swoop you up and hand you everything in today's times, I don't think. I mean, it could, but just learning your target audience. You know what I mean? Learning who paying attention, forming relationships with your fans too, no matter where they're at. We started noticing a lot of people, from far away that are catching on our stuff, and we really try to engage with them on social media, and it's crazy, man, how the world is alive today, because there's people I've never met living, someplace in Iowa, and, I'll find myself going and, I wonder what they're up to, You get to know people like that now. So, of course, social media is huge. For us, I know that right now they say that TikTok's the big thing, but for us, we came out, it was a double-edged sword. We started to really get our first songs out there in 2021, when the COVID thing was really big, and I think everything was online then. So Facebook really worked for us. Okay. That was our tool. Now I hear that kind of TikTok's blowing up, it's the way to go, but we just kind of, like I said, it's target for us. That's where our people right now tend to be, and we just market to them. And I think just kind of the same old thing, man, just having a good material, just having a good song, and presenting it right online, I think, is big. I know the almighty algorithm can knock some great songs down, and you never get. So I always think, man, I wonder how many great songs there are out there. Like the next Nirvana that's going to come out and could change the whole music industry, and we're not going to hear it because of this algorithm. Right. I don't know all about that stuff, but I know that I can post one thing and it goes crazy, and then you post another and it was the wrong time of the day. Right. Or something like that.
And what I get mainly out of that is know your audience. That's really what I hear.
Oh, yes. Yeah, know your target.
That's incredible.
Know who wants to hear you. And you can
Right.
see it when you first start. Even if you start with 4 people, you know, I mean, you're going to see those 4 people. And you're going to see where they're from. You're going to see the other bands they follow. You're going to see the music they post about. So, I mean, you can't really, you know, I'm not a big country fan, nothing against it, great songwriting, but you're never going to really, like, push a big country artist on me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right. It's not your thing, right?
yeah, you got to find your people.
Right. So that's really how you promote it, like Bring on the Pain, for example. Is that how you approach that? So it's really fan engagement and social media?
That's it. We first released what was the name of the first song? Man, well, I've been writing so much, you got to forgive me. We're in like crunch time right now. I've written about 30 songs in the last 5 weeks that I'll probably use 3 of. But the first song we released got about 500,000 streams, and I'm going to be honest on that one. We put that one out, and I don't know what happened. It just kind of ditto. You know, we were just coming out, and it was the first song, and we basically made some really cool little videos, little video clips, you know, promoting it and put it out, and it kind of caught fire in a smaller way for us, and that gave us what we needed to look for when we put out Bringing on the Pain, you know.
Okay, so it kind of set the stage for Bringing on the Pain.
We knew who was paying attention at that time in our audience, so we had a target audience at that point, you know, and we built off that.
Wow, that's incredible. So what were some of the biggest challenges One Day Alive faced as an indie band, and how did you guys overcome that?
Man, I would say your biggest challenge is tour. And tour, you know, is important. That's how you're going to really expose yourself and gain people. When you're coming out and you don't have a whole lot of traction, finding an agent to take you on that's going to put you out with some bigger acts and expose you, you know, let you piggyback off of them and jump up there and play for their crowds. I think that, honestly speaking, that was the toughest thing for us to get. And there again, it came back to, unfortunately, it came back to, you know, streams and you know, sales and things like that, you know, keeping track of where you're at, if you're showing up on any charts, if you're, you know, you have to kind of put that all in a package and give that agent a reason to say, yeah, you know, I can put these guys out there with these other guys. And that was one of the biggest benefits we've had so far too.
So you actually did do the tour then?
Oh yeah, we did a huge tour. We were on the Parental Advisory Tour with Josie Scott's Saliva, Trap, Tantric, Edema. We were out there most of the country. It was an experience. It was tiring. Right? It was brutal. It was intimidating at first. But that was the best thing for us. You really, especially if you get on a good tour, like with all those guys every single one of them were great guys. And, you know, I'm friends with almost all of them now. And that's forming relationships, you know, authentic relationships out there with other artists is pivotal, in my opinion, or my experience anyway.
Okay, so what advice would you give other artists looking to grow their streams and build their fan base? I mean, what's the main thing you would really tell them?
We're trying to release about every 6 weeks. We're trying to have a song, you know, within the 2-month period to put out to keep it fresh. If you're coming out and you don't have a whole 2 albums worth of music out there, you know, for people to listen to, find your target audience. You know, market to your target audience, you know, learn what they want, learn their algorithm, you know, when are they on, watch your algorithm, you know, look at your posts, which ones did the best when, and you will start to see, like, you know, man, I posted this on a Wednesday in the afternoon, and, you know, got a lot shown to a lot more people, you know, so definitely watch your algorithm, know your target audience, and play a lot. So it seems to me,
Randy, you really pay attention to the analytics then. That's what I'm hearing here.
Yeah, I'm not a very technical guy, so I'm not going to lie and try to fool people.
Right.
These are just whatever you call them, that's what I've noticed. I literally remember posting great stuff, you know, coming out, starting out, and being like, man, how come nobody saw this, and I would research things and learned about the algorithm. And then I started noticing, like I said, on a Wednesday around 4, I would get really good. Like, it seemed like a lot more people saw my posts.
Okay.
And, on Sundays, people would see my post more. So we started going, man, let's try posting on this day and this day, between this time and this time. And we started to see a difference,
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think you're a little bit more technical than you think you are, because you have some real analytics in there that I can.
All
that I can see.
right. Well,
Yeah.
maybe I got a future in analytics later on then.
So how do you balance that creating content and being an artist, and how has that helped, knowing the balance? How does that help your career?
So, well, I mean, it's essential in today's time. I mean, if anybody's going to hear your stuff, you have to, there's just no other way right now. I mean, unless you can somehow get in the bus and tour 300 days a year to expose yourself, which not many of us can. That's about it. Content, like balancing it all, though, we all kind of do different, we need something, and this guy will make it, and then the next week this guy will do something, and the next week this guy will do something. And we're a very band. We all collaborate together very well, and we try to share the workload.
Oh, that's great.
And it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work.
Yeah. So what I hear in there, Randy, you're saying it's essential that you guys handle this social media correctly. That's what I'm hearing. And I believe that'll help our audience a lot, understanding that this is no joke. You have to get on this. Yes.
Oh yeah, if you're literally you're just wasting time. If not, there's no other way, man. I mean, no more. It's hard to get the radio. You're not going to get a tour without the numbers. Like
Right.
I said, that agent's going to go, why should I put you out there? Show me that people are listening to you. So you got to do that. And they know the real stuff from the fake stuff too.
Exactly. Yeah.
And,
Don't fake it till you make it.
Yeah, you don't want to
get
fake
out
it,
there.
man. You're just killing yourself. But it'll happen, man. I never thought that we'd pop 1.5 million streams off on one song. We are grateful, by the way. Well, we never would have. We were floored. Like, we just couldn't believe it. So
That is so great. That is so great. So what's next for One Day Alive, and can you share any exciting plans for the future?
I can. So we just had our new single, Never Again, which has a very different feel from One Day Alive. It's the direction we're headed. We love it. That was just released to radio yesterday. So it'll be available for streaming on all streaming networks on the 20th of December. But it hit the radio push today. And we are gonna be out on tour again in 2025. It's all being worked on right now. I don't have any specifics about when, with who, or where, unfortunately, today.
Okay.
But I'm usually the last to find that stuff out. I'm going, as you can tell, I have the whole ADHD thing going on all the time.
So Randy, before we wrap up, I know a lot of artists and music fans would love to follow your band and support your music. So where can they find your latest release, and what's the best way for them to stay in contact with you?
Well, we would love to have them. Everything, all our social media, our TikTok, our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything, and web is at One Day Alive. The new song is called Never Again. It'll be available for streaming on December 20th. It's on radio now, December 20th for streaming. So if you haven't checked us out, come check us out. Check out what we got up there now if you like it. December 20th, Never Again will be out. And come hang out with us on tour in 25.
Wow, that is great, Randy. And for everyone watching, don't forget, we'll be sharing more incredible insights from other amazing guests throughout the summit. So if you're interested in learning more about music promotion and growing your career, stay tuned for the rest of today's session. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to help spread the word, and make sure you don't miss any important, amazing content coming from the Music Promotion Network. And thank you, Randy. You shared so much with us on your journey and insight, for us today. And your stories are so inspirational. And I know a lot of indie artists out there are walking away with actionable strategies that they can use to grow their career. And to our audience, thank you for being here, kicking off the summit. So don't forget, One Day Alive, and support their amazing music. So stay tuned for the next session, and we'll start shortly, and we'll be hearing from Hypeddit, a platform that has helped thousands of artists grow their streams and fan base with innovative music promotion tools and strategies. And later, we hear from one of the premier artist management firms responsible for countless success stories in the music industry, sharing tactics that you can learn and apply. So stay tuned. Don't forget, don't miss a thing with us. Register. Like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us continue. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, guys.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 2025 Online Music Promotion Summit. I hope you're enjoying today's session and taking away actionable steps to grow your music career. Our next guest is someone who plays a key role in helping artists achieve massive success through one of the most innovative platforms out there, Hypeddit. Hypeddit has helped over 10,000 artists collectively receive over 100 million Spotify streams, and we're thrilled to dive into how they're making that happen. For those of you just tuning in, my name is Darrell Campbell, and I'm the host of this summit. My passion is connecting artists like you with the tools, resources, and strategies you need to thrive in today's music industry. Joining us today is Mike, the head of customer success at Hypeddit. Mike leads a team that is dedicated to helping artists grow their music every single day. He's also a musician and a producer, which gives him a unique perspective on what independent artists need to succeed. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, Daryl, how's it going? Thank you.
Good. I am fantastic. Fantastic. Mike is going to kick off with a short presentation about Hypeddit, its features, and how it can help you achieve your music promotional goals. Over to you, Mike.
Yes, thank you very much. And yes, hello to everyone out there. And let me go ahead and share my screen over here. My name is Mike, and I lead the customer success team of Hypeddit, one of the largest music promotion platforms in the world. And today, basically, over the years, we've helped 10,000 artists, bands grow to over 100 million streams together on Spotify. And today, I'm here to show you how to use two simple tools to get those streams, fans, and listeners on Spotify. And that's Facebook and Instagram ads and Hypeddit. We've developed a tool that lets you easily launch ad campaigns to help you find those die-hard fans and those that will stay and listen to your music even after your promotion is ended. So basically, we use Hypeddit's music ad automation tool to easily set up these beautiful, amazing ads. And these are laser-targeted Facebook and Instagram ads that points fans to your music on Spotify, giving you a higher chance of having those fans stay and listen to your music even after your promotion is ended. And after years of helping artists, basically our community doing Spotify promotion, and they've grown to achieve incredible success. Collectively, they now enjoy hundreds of millions of streams annually and earn over $1 million in streaming royalties each year. And I'm here to literally hand you one of the fastest and most effective ways to grow your music and fan base on Spotify. And this is how it works. So all you have to do is head over to hypeddit.com. Let me go ahead and switch my screen here. Just go to hypeddit.com, log into your account or create a new account. By the way, everybody has free access to a 7-day free trial of Hypeddit Pro. So basically, you'll have access to this tool if ever you want to give this a try. So as soon as you're logged in, you're driven to your Hypeddit dashboard over here. Just make sure you're on the ad campaign section. So in order for you to launch a campaign, just click on New Campaign over here. And today I'm going to demo on how to create a Grow My Spotify Track campaign. So just hit on the green select button here. So this is the campaign setup page that you're looking at right now. The first part is just your Facebook account setup and all that. So I have everything set up on mine. So just hit next. Now we're going to need your Spotify track URL. So I'm going to grab my track URL over here. This is one of the artists that I'm helping out. Basically, this is me and one of the artists that I was helping out. So this is our artist profile. So you just have to paste the URL over here. The tool automatically grabs your artist name and the title of your track. And if you can see on the right pane, you'll have the cover art of the track as well. So I'll just select my genre. I basically create jazz fusion music. Also, I'll just pick jazz over there and hit next. Now this section, this is where you can assign the ad video that you will use for your campaign. So we got the cover art, but we want to create beautiful ads, so we can add a little video effect here. There are some video effects that you could use. So if you can see, you can hover your mouse on it to see a little preview, but I'm not going to use that, of course, because I create jazz fusion music. So I'll just pick Lightly Kai over here, which is doing great for me. And now I'm going to upload my MP3. The reason why I'm doing this is where I can pick the audio preview that fans will hear while looking at the ad. So it's processing it right now. It'll give you a waveform of the track. And as you can see, you have a little box right here. This represents a 30-second snippet of the song. So you don't want it too short, and you don't want it too long. So the sweet spot is 30 seconds for the preview. But if you want to shorten or lengthen the preview, you can from 15 seconds to up to 30 or 60 seconds. But 30 seconds is my sweet spot right there. So for the sake of the demo, I'll just pick a random part of the preview to set this up. So just click create video. We got the first one right there. Then I'll pick another one. Well, if you were wondering why I'm picking 3 different parts, basically Facebook ads, meta ads to be exact, is designed to focus your campaign's budget to whatever part of your campaign that is working. So if we give it 3 different parts of the song, it'll give you a higher chance of hitting the jackpot, because your music will be shown to people who doesn't really, or who most likely haven't heard of your music before. So if you have 3, of course, you would know when you run this campaign, you would know which part of the song really resonated well with them. And at the same time, Facebook's AI will focus your budget to whatever is working. So let's say audio preview number 1 is the one that's really resonating well. Your budget is going to be focused on that one. It will automatically optimize as you run them. As the longer you run your campaign, the better it'll be. So right here, we got all 3. So let's hit next. Now, the country selection, this is the list of countries that is selected by default. So this is the list that we recommend as well. This is where we find the best results. But you can still customize this if you want. So let's hit next on that one. And this is one of the features that I'm really proud to present over here. This is the AI generation, or the AI targeting that we call it. When you're starting out and you're wondering, I don't know, I haven't ran Facebook ad campaigns before. I don't know how it works. I don't know what to do or who to target. I don't even have a sound-alike artist. I create unique music, right? Sometimes that I hear that a lot from music artists that I've helped out. So in order to help them, we got this AI targeting tool. It'll generate interest for you and for your music. This is based off of all the campaigns that were run through Hypeddit. Millions of data points that gives you a higher chance of success with your campaign. So if I click on it, it'll generate target interest for my music. By the way, the interest may show non-music related or artists from different genres. And as you can see right here, I create jazz music, but it gave me different genres over here because the AI doesn't look at the interest based on their names. it analyzes based on the data behind it. So it's based off again on the campaigns ran through Hypeddit. It will not give you a random result. These are interests that will put you in the best position to start your campaign with. So I'm gonna go ahead with that one. So I'll just click next. By the way, one more thing. So if you're a seasoned Facebook ad campaign user, you can just if you want to manually select your interest, you can do that too. You can just click on select manually instead over here. Now, talking about the budget, this is in Philippine peso. Basically, this is, if you convert this, it's around $5 per day. And that is our recommended budget. You can run this campaign. I got a campaign that is running for years now under $5 per day. So it's still giving me the results. It's still giving me the listeners and streams. So I'll just go with that one. I'll put it in always active for better flexibility. I can pause and resume it at any given time. So, yep, that's it. Next, advanced settings. I don't usually recommend changing this. But yeah, one thing that I'd like to point out, age range right here. This is one of the common mistakes that music artists has asked us. Your initial reaction when you see these settings, you want to go to Spotify for artists, check your audience demographics, and match the age range or age bracket over there to your campaign setting. But be careful when you do that, because the thing is, when you base it off on data coming from a different platform like Spotify for artists, take note, this is Facebook ads or meta ads we're talking about. So Spotify for artists, meta ads, they both use their own databases, so they don't always match. So be careful when doing this. So that's why we always recommend don't change the age range targeting. And well, of course, unless you have a really, really solid data coming from your old campaigns that you've ran through Facebook ads. But yeah, right here, I'm just going to use the default settings, the ad text. This is the ad text. I'm going to use the default ones. Ad headline, this is the default. And I think this is the best call to action right there. And we just hit next. And we're in the home stretch right here. I'm ready to publish. I'll just click and agree to all the legal stuff right here. I'll click on save draft. And I'll click on publish now. And you can literally set up a campaign in minutes by doing this one. So yeah, while we are waiting for this one, because this might take a few minutes. By the way, this creates videos for the campaign. The software is uploading everything, Facebook ads. That's why it might take a few minutes right there. But I'd like to take some questions.
Did you just say that can actually create videos?
Yes, it is. But
that
you
is
have the
incredible.
option to upload your own videos, of course.
So when you say create videos, you mean from scratch, it'll just come up with a video?
Yes, that's right. It's going to use
That
your
is incredible.
cover art that was pulled up from Spotify. And then, remember I picked a 30-second snippet of the song coming from the WAV or MP3 file that I've uploaded. It will combine that and create a 30-second video for your campaign.
Wow, that's one of those mind-blowing things right there. That's incredible.
Well, in Hypeddit, we'd love to make things easier for everybody. So back in the day of doing everything manually, you'll have to, use a different program to take out the snippets, use a video editor to combine the image and the snippets. So it's crazy how technology has evolved nowadays.
Yes. That is incredible. I'm still stuck on that. I just can't imagine just putting in a little bit of cover art and then watch a video about my song would just pop up. That's out there for me. Yes. I'm sure a lot of artists are going to get much benefit out of that, because creating content is a big stumbling block for many artists. Wouldn't you agree?
Exactly. And most of the artists that I've helped out, they have this question that, will it work, or does this video work? They don't even know. They created a video about their music and they don't even know if this is gonna be effective or not. They don't have any info on how to market these videos, how to set this up and all that. So they're just throwing it randomly. And with these kinds of tools, everything is going to be easier for music artists. I remember there was this artist that we were helping out before we created this tool. He posted something in our community saying that, setting up a campaign takes the joy away of creating music. And we've heard it. That's why we've created this tool, making it easier for everybody.
Wow. Mike, I'm blown away. And like I said, I'm pretty sure there are artists out there. When I run across many artists, like I said, I do connect artists with professionals. The main thing is they just don't have the time to create content. They have busy lives. They're working, they have families, and etc. They just don't have the time to do it. They want to do it, and even if they learn how to do it, they just don't have the time. This is going to help a lot of people, and bringing this awareness that this is even possible is what this summit is about.
Yes. And, setting up ad campaigns, to be honest, it's never easy. If you're going to manually set it up, first you need the information or the knowledge to set it up, right? And then you need to spend time to learn those information, right? And learning Facebook ads and all that, it'll take you hours, maybe weeks, days, and all. And to set up these campaigns manually, you're gonna spend maybe an hour at most, or at least for those seasoned veterans out there that really, create campaigns all the time. And we've literally compressed it to within a few minutes. As you can see, we've managed to launch a campaign within, I could say 10 minutes. And from before, I've even set up a campaign within a couple of minutes. In Hypeddit, you'll have a way to duplicate things. You can duplicate a campaign, make the necessary changes. By the way, these campaigns are scalable, so if you want to make changes, you can definitely apply it to the next campaign that you will do, and you can do that within a few minutes as well.
So you're saying if I have a campaign that's really working, I don't have to start from scratch. I can just kind of duplicate what's already working?
Yes. You can duplicate it.
Great.
Make the little changes that you'd like, maybe using a different ad video, using a different set of countries, using a different set of target interests. You could definitely do that within a few minutes.
Now, Mike, does this work for every genre of music, or are there certain genres that see better results?
Absolutely, yes. Let me share this one. I've heard this from one of the artists before. There's no bad music. I believe that. Maybe badly produced music, right?
Yeah.
But as long as you're able to find the right audience for the music, I believe people will listen to it. So and with these types of campaigns, you can easily find those people.
So is Hypeddit just for new releases, or can an artist use it for previous release tracks as well?
It actually works for both. These campaigns target fans who most likely love the kind of music you have. So it doesn't matter if your tracks are released today or from years ago.
So who would you say is a great fit for Hypeddit service? Are there specific types of artists or career stages that is most effective for?
That's a good question, Daryl. Basically, if you have promoted your music on Spotify before and it worked, but you want more, this is for you. If you have promoted your music on Spotify before and it didn't work, this is for you as well. And if you have not promoted your music on Spotify before, this is the best for you. So everybody can try this out. Everybody can see how this works for their music and scale it, grow their music, get those fans, streams, and listeners on Spotify.
So this is only for Spotify promotions?
Let me share this one. Good question. Let me share my screen. Let's go back to the Hypeddit screen right here. So we got the campaign all published right here. So I'll head on to the dashboard. This was the campaign that we've set up. It's now in review. But about your question, we got templates or campaign goals that is focused on Spotify right here. And we got a couple of campaigns here for focus on YouTube. Basically, this one uses a different platform, which is Google Ads. And we got the campaign that is focused on TikTok. So this one is using TikTok ads, and they point fans to a TikTok video right here. So right now, the campaign goal that we have is for Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok. And we are continuously growing this. We started out with just 3 templates right here, 3 campaign goals. And we're continuously testing different campaign setup, settings, platforms, and all that. And we just have to make sure that it'll work. And we're going to add it over here so that our community can use it.
This really shows how Hypeddit stands out from other music platforms that are available today as well, right?
Oh, yes, I believe so. Because we have different platforms that you could use, or campaign for different platforms that you can use. And I believe that is something that our community provides more value, because they have options. And today, independent music artists, they want to go out there and try to get as much exposure as they can for their music, right? But one thing that I could maybe give one piece of advice on that one: when you're starting out, you would want to focus on one single goal. And when I would say it in a way where, let's say, focus on one single platform, focus on one single goal. Which do you want to promote your track, your artist profile, your playlist, or a pre-save? Because if you're gonna throw out your campaign or your promotion to everything out there, it's gonna be expensive.
Okay.
And it's gonna be I would say not efficient as you can be. You might hit some people might hit the goal right away, but it's not for everybody. So I would say laser target goals provides laser target results, and you could do that step by step.
That's some great advice, Mike. One of the biggest challenges for artists is tracking their growth. How does Hypeddit help artists measure their success?
That's a good one. Let me show you one of my campaigns right here.
Okay.
As you can see, that you will have the analytics tool right here. And this will give you a deep dive results of what you have for your campaign. You can see the audience, which one is giving you the best results right here. These are the target interest that was initially created or given to me by the AI. These are the ad videos, the top channels, the countries, and the UTMs right here. You can deep dive on the results over here. And right now it doesn't show any data. That's because I recently just started it. And right now the status of the campaign that we have is still under review. And yes, that's how you can deep dive on here. Let me give you all-time results here. Yeah, so you can see right here, it'll give you the data that we have, the visits, the clicks. This is one important metric that you could use as well, the link or the ratio of clicks and visits.
Mm-hmm.
So for a campaign, you would want to track those people who visit or those people who click, because that's an indicator that they landed on Spotify, right? So this is the ratio of it. The higher the ratio, the better. And these are, by the way, these are AI targeting. Based on my experience from before the AI targeting, when you set up target interest, out of the 5 that you will set up, you most likely have winners of, let's say, 2 or 3 of them, and you work from there, and you transition to your next campaign using your winners, replace the losers with something else to experiment and test out. And as you can see, the ratio of clicks and visits for all of these target interests, they're above 30%, and they're close to each other. Usually when I set up a campaign manually, 2 of them might give you 40-30%, maybe more, and the other 3 will give you around less than 10%. or maybe around 10%. Yeah.
Interesting.
So with the AI
Wow.
targeting, it's somewhat balanced because it's based off of, data that has been gathered through all the campaigns in the Hypeddit. So it'll give you a higher chance of success when you set up your first campaign.
Yeah, I know many musicians are afraid of AI because they think it's going to come around and take their jobs and create music without them. However, you're showing us a good example where AI is actually helping the artist track what they're doing and actually help build their campaigns. That's what I'm seeing here, right?
Yes. We are leveraging on AI. We want to take advantage of it rather than, letting it take over us.
Right.
We're continuously developing tools that would help our community, and one of them is this AI tool that we have, which is amazing. Believe me, if you're gonna try it out and you don't know your genre, because I've experienced that. There are artists in the community who doesn't even know the genre of their music that they create. So if you don't know your genre, most likely you won't have a solid sound-alike artist. And if you don't have a sound-alike artist, it's really hard to find the target interest that will work for a campaign, for promotion. And this AI tool is something that could really help you out.
And Mike, do you have any other success stories or case studies that you can share about artists who've used Hypeddit to achieve significant milestone?
Well, we do. We regularly interview people within our community, artists who have shared their success stories. I'd recommend that, people head out to our YouTube channel. Just search for John Gold, our founder, and that's his channel. And you can find videos that could help you grow your music, and those videos where we interviewed the artists that really shared their success story. There was one guy there. He started out really, really low, and he generated thousands and thousands of streams within just a couple of months, and it was mind blowing. Because when he reached out, he got, I think, double-digit listeners per month, and then suddenly after 2 months, he reached 5 digits of listeners by just following these methods and doing his own experiments and testings and all that. It's amazing. And when you see that, when you see those kinds of stories from within people that you've helped out, and it's just, I don't know what's the word to say, but
gratifying.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Daryl, this is it. I hope everybody will give it a try, because this is a tool that you could use to launch your campaigns. And by the way, don't forget, everybody has free access for a 7-day trial when they sign up for a new account in Hypeddit. Just go to hypeddit.com, log into or try to create your account, and automatically you'll get a free trial to give this a try and grow your music to every platform that you can out there.
You also mentioned, does Hypeddit help with also organic growth as well, or just mainly for ads? How does that fit in? Organic.
Oh yes, you can do your own promotion. Let's say you want to share on your social media. When it comes to promotions on social media, you would want to use a landing page, right? So Hypeddit can help you with that one as well. You create your own smart link, download gates, link gates, or loud links to help you drive fans from the social media platform that you promote it to whatever music platform that you like. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, whatever. We have it right there.
Okay, so you're saying besides increasing your streams, Hypeddit can also help independent artists improve fan engagement. That's what you're saying here?
Well, yes, of course. When you're running an ad campaign, it will improve the engagement of fans, because the thing is, running ad campaigns will find the best, or at least the die-hard fans who are gonna most likely listen to your track even if your campaign has ended. So definitely Hypeddit can help you with that. And aside
even after it's ended, okay.
Yeah. And you can follow it through by sharing these landing pages to your social media platforms, because because when you run an ad campaign, your ads will be posted using your Facebook page and your Instagram account. So if you run these ads, you'll get a handful of followers for your page and Instagram account right there. And if you follow it through with these landing pages, you can post it up. That might really work well for you.
For someone new to Hypeddit, what advice would you give to get the most out of the platform? Someone brand new.
Well, I would say start off with the goal that you would want to achieve within the first month, the first year, and the next few years. And I would say start with a campaign. Let's say if you want to grow on Spotify, you can follow the step that we demoed here, and you can start with that. And these campaigns are scalable, and you can go from there. You can find your winners, find the best track that you could promote. You can even launch multiple campaigns for different tracks. You can do that, and you can see which track of yours really resonated well with the audience that you've selected, and you can turn off all the other campaigns and focus on one single campaign, and you can go over there. By the way, we offer a training program as well, where John, our founder, discussed more of the next step on where you would want to go after you've started. So as soon as you've started out and you don't know where to go, of course, you can reach out to us, or you can go and sign up for the Spotify Grow Twitch, a training program. And by the way, when you reach out to us, you can just click on this question mark icon, leave us a message, drop your question, and me and my team, we're literally available 7 days a week, and we'll answer your questions as soon as we can. So if you don't know where to go after you've started out, we can definitely help you out.
That is fantastic. I know a lot of people start things and, it's a lot of hype in the beginning, and then they get lost really quick and don't know what to do. And I'm glad that Hypeddit has addressed that already. Are there any other misconceptions about music promotion that you've encountered? And how does Hypeddit address them? Preconceived notions about music promotion that just aren't right. What do you say about that?
I would answer it this way. Most independent music artists, they're not music promoters, right? So they don't know. They're not expert when it comes to how to market their own music. And the initial, I would say, their first reaction when you want to promote your music is, let me go ahead and share it to my social media. Let me have my friends, my family, my relatives listen to it, right? That's the first reaction. And then you realize that you will get only a handful of streams coming from those. And that from there, you don't know where to go afterwards. And that is where ads can help you out. Because with ads, you can reach anybody in the world, right? Anybody within the platform, Facebook or Instagram, you can reach them and have your music heard all around the world. And I think that's one of the common, I wouldn't say mistakes, but the first step that they do that usually don't follow through afterwards because they didn't see the results that they'd like.
Does this also transition into TikTok?
Yes. I've shown you one of the templates that we've used. If you go to your dashboard, you click on Smart or Add Campaigns right here, New Campaign, then Grow My TikTok video right here. And I tried it for using a small budget, a relatively small budget. I think $20 or $50 from before. It gave me hundreds of thousands of views on TikTok and hundreds of followers on my account. I'm never really active on TikTok, and I just tested it out. It gave me that amount of result. Imagine if you are focusing.
When you said $20 to $50, you mean a day or total?
That's in total. TikTok works differently though. They set a specific amount of budget, and from there you can work your way.
Interesting. Wow. So finally, what's next for Hypeddit? I mean, are there anything, upcoming features or updates that we can look forward to?
There's a lot in the works in the back end. I couldn't give you any specific yet, but of course we are leveraging on the AI We are developing different campaign goals right here. As you can see on the screen, we're continuously developing other templates, other goals, other platforms that you could use to grow your music everywhere. And we're excited to see what's next.
Well, Mike, thanks so much for walking us through the Hypeddit. I like the way it's really helping artists. But before we wrap up, let's go over one more time. How do they get started with Hypeddit? What are the steps? What do they need to do? Where do they go?
Yeah, just go to hypeddit.com. And then from there, you can, let me share it with you right here. Just go to hypeddit.com. And then just go to when you go to the home page right here, log out of my account. This is the home page. Just click on try for free and you'll definitely get access to a 7-day free trial right here. And you can go ahead and start your music or sharing your music to everywhere, or to fans out there.
To everyone watching, make sure you visit Hypeddit at the link that we have in the description below to discover all of the things that Hypeddit has to offer. Whether you're just starting out or looking to take your career to the next level, this is the tool you don't want to miss. Mike, thank you one more time for giving us your expertise and an inside look at Hypeddit. Your insights have been incredibly valuable, and I know our audience has learned a lot from you today. To everyone tuned in, stay with us because we have more amazing sessions coming up. Next, we'll hear from one of the industry's top minds in artist management, sharing strategies to grow your career in ways you might not have considered. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to help support the summit and to make sure you don't miss out on any future content from the Music Promotion Network. Thanks for joining us, and stay tuned for our next session. Hello and welcome everyone back to the 2020 Online Music Promotion Summit. I hope you find today's session valuable and inspiring as we learn from some of the brightest minds in music promotion and in management. This session is a real treat because we're diving into the world of artist management, where you'll learn from some of the best minds and leaders in the industry, and they have been instrumental in shaping the careers of countless artists. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Darrell Campbell, and I'm your host for the summit. My mission is to bring together the best tools, resources, and professionals to help indie artists thrive in this ever-evolving music landscape. Now, let's welcome our guest today, Wes Hoffman. Wes is the CEO and founder of Red Alert Music Group, an independent management company known for its success stories and innovative approach to developing talent. Wes has worked with numerous artists in the industry, and his insights on what it takes to succeed as an independent artist are second to none. Wes, welcome to the summit.
Hey, thank you, Darrell. Appreciate that. First and foremost, I just want to say, thank you for having this platform. It's really cool whenever you have something like this to where everybody can learn from each other's experiences. It gives us all an opportunity to, to grow and learn and evolve. So once again, thanks.
Okay, you're welcome, Wes. Now, can you tell me a bit about your journey, like what inspired you to start Red Alert Music Group, and how did you even get into artist management in the first place?
Well, to hit on the first part, what the inspired part really kind of comes from, I can't really pinpoint an exact moment as far as what inspired me to become an artist manager. But I can tell you, my journey unfolded in distinct stages. It began with a close friend of mine. His name was Dale Simpson, whose nephew was a drummer in the band Crooked X. That was a rock band that was, for exceptionally talented teenagers. They were really young, 14, 15 years old, and they just had the polished rock star image, the commanding stage presence, the anthem-worthy sounds, and they quickly gained some traction. They also had a really supportive family group. So, parents were behind them. And so they entered into this national TV contest. I think it was on CBS. It was like some morning show thing. And they ended up placing second. And second wasn't bad because it caught the attention of legendary artist Doc McGee, artist manager, Doc McGee, and his business partner at MPM, Spencer Proffer. And so under MPM's guidance, Crooked X landed a record deal with MPI and Capitol Records. And then that success paved the way for them, having opening slots with Kiss and Ted Nugent and Alice Cooper and Blackstone Cherry and Skid Row. And they even had like performances on Jimmy Kimmel Live, back in the day. So a lot of cool things came their way at a very, very young age. Unfortunately, they had some internal struggles later on. They also had a tragic passing of the guitarist, Jesse Cooper, and the band ultimately disbanded. But working with Crooked X, along with Dale, was a tremendous learning experience because we had the rare privilege of collaborating with some of the most talented and respected people in the industry right out of the gate. I mean, it was educational and inspiring, to answer your question. Because it was inspiring for us to just be a really, a startup artist management company and dealing with these really young kids. And then all of a sudden they're dealing with, one of the top artist managers in the industry. So yeah, it was, a stroke of good luck, quite honestly, for Dale and I. And then afterwards, after that band, or about the same time as that band was disbanding and things were going on, Dale and I continued to, operate. Our banner was called Hoffman Simpson at the time. We were managing rock bands and progressive country artists. And we had some pretty decent success with some of those. And then in addition to Crooked X, and I can't say that we weren't the ones that were that took Crooked X where they went. That was Doc McGee, and don't want to misconstrue that at all. We just got to see it kind of from behind the scenes because we were first in, and then they were picked up by Doc and his company. But then we got to ride that wave as far as all the things that were going on with that band. But I was with the successes that we had, I got hit with something that kind of major happened. Well, really major that happened was Dale's unexpected passing in the summer of 2011. And that hit me really, really hard. And at that point, I made a decision to transfer all of our artists to other artist managers. And I took a hiatus from management and really just from the music business in general. And so during those years, I focused on, my own investments and exploring other ventures and keeping a close eye, on the music industry, because I knew I'd probably jump back in at some point. But, something that I hadn't said yet is that while I was in the music industry, or during the same time I was in the music industry, I also had a background in tech and marketing and helping startup companies do that as well. So I had this trifecta of talent, if you will, that was back then really wasn't as valuable as it is now. And so, going back to, I think you asked the question, what led me to create Red Alert? Mm-hmm. The fact that I have been in music, tech, and marketing simultaneously for I'm going to show my age here, 30 years now. I often described it as like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story, because early on, I used to spend my days in a professional work environment in the marketing and tech world. And then at night, I would transform into this passionate rock and roll vocalist chasing the dream, hoping to make it big. And so, starting off as a vocalist, like I said, playing in local rock bands, performing cover songs, I did that for years. And then I eventually transitioned over into writing original material, recording original music. And then that shift actually brought some notable successes for myself. And then which quickly plunged me into the complex world of, record labels, contracts, publishing, royalties, licensing, endorsements, trademarks, if I didn't mention that one. But you name it, like all these things that people take for granted a lot of times, but there's a lot of complexity and legal issues that they're involved in that, and the big word recoupment that you got to be aware of, especially when you're dealing with labels and people that are willing to invest in your career. And so while I was, while navigating the business side of the music industry, I also spent a significant amount of time touring, like I said, and performing on stage. And, I truly, truly love those moments and the energy that you get from playing in front of a crowd. It's just a super addictive experience for everybody that's out there that's ever done it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And so going back to the Jekyll and Hyde metaphor I used earlier, Dr. Jekyll ultimately won out. And so I primarily, keep my nose to the grind on the business side of things. And that's, again, bringing those talents of the trifecta of music, marketing, and tech, I started Red Alert.
Nice. That is extremely interesting. I'm sorry to hear about the passing of your partner as well. Now, what do you believe is the biggest misconception about artists have about working with a manager?
Misconceptions. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. I would say, I don't know if it's the biggest, but the one that comes to mind, I would say a lot of times artists or bands approach that as if kind of like the same way that they used to approach signing a record deal with a label. They think that they've achieved this major goal because they got somebody interested in them, and now somebody's going to be willing to handle all these things for them. And in reality, that really couldn't be further from the truth, because in my opinion, a good manager doesn't necessarily take work off your plate. They really are going to be bringing you more opportunities, which means more tasks to tackle, a busier schedule, additional coordination, increased focus on fan building and engagement activities, all of which should obviously lead to more revenue generation. But that also means that you're going to less likely have less free time. And especially in the crucial stages of building a fan base, and that foundation is really necessary to maximize the potential of any kind of revenue generating business, especially in the music industry. And it's always kind of interesting, again, I know this is a misconception question, but like a lot of times artists are all about, I just want to be a music artist. I just want to create music and do all this stuff. And it's like, well, there's a little bit of misconception to that as well, I believe now. It's like, you got to be more than just a music artist. You got to understand how to connect with fans and what are the situations or what are the things that allow you to connect with fans. And that is a content creation and fan engagement strategy.
What I run across as a misconception is a lot of people think a manager is a sugar daddy. You run across that?
I've run across that. I sure have. A few times, and it's very easy to get sucked into that, and a lot of times it's real easy to where it can cause you to go from, obviously the role of manager to investor, and those things can conflict, and it's a bad thing to get into. If you're really good at being able to, as an artist manager, if you're going to invest in something, try to keep it very limited in scope, and not just throwing money at a big picture thing. Like, get into something specific, like, okay, I'm going to handle transportation, so I'm going to buy a van or a trailer or something like that to kind of help you guys get around town, because I really believe in your music and I believe in this, but this is one thing that's missing, so I'll go out and help you guys buy that. But then have some kind of investment account to the side that is getting you paid back, rather than trying to recoup it from some general fund or something like that. Have it just as if you were having to go borrow money, from a bank or something. I think that will help save a lot of heartache on down the line.
That is very interesting, because I actually know artists who believe if the manager does not have money, then they're not even a good manager, which is kind of crazy.
Well, the thing is that if a band is just looking for funding, a manager, you're kind of giving a manager too much control if you allow them to invest too much. And, because typically the person that has the deepest pockets in a band is essentially the leader. And if you turn that over to a manager who has nothing to do with the music creation and going out on stage and doing all that stuff, now you're shifting the leadership. And for the musicians, it can become feeling like a job rather than, the artistic impression that you really want to lead off with. Okay. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense, yeah. So switching gears here. So what are some of the key traits or habits you've noticed in successful artists that you work with?
Key habits or successes. And I would say, key habits would have to be, being able to have a work ethic that is, and what I mean by work ethic is, I guess I look at things like this. Whenever you're going out and you're touring, to me, that's the vacation side of the business. But when you're home, you should be working on building the next ability to go out on vacation. And the revenue side of that is flipped too, because when you're on vacation, you're making money. When you're at home, you're not. And it's one of the only industries that's like that, where, it's like, okay, go on vacation. I'm going to make money while I'm on vacation. I'm having fun. I'm out there, talking to my fans and doing everything. But a lot of times there's certain artists out there that will, when they come back home, they don't really want to do anything. They want to be with their family, and they just kind of try to check out. And I get that and I understand it. But the problem is that you begin to lose your fans become neglected at that point. And if you're not staying in a full cycle with them, to me, I think you're missing out a lot. And I think that's a key habit that I think modern artists must have, is fully staying connected and at least releasing music. If you're not out touring, continually releasing music and coming up with good strategies to continually stay out in front of your fans.
That is so interesting. It kind of reminds me, I heard a big rock and roller say, I can't wait to get on stage so I can have some peace and quiet.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that is how it is. I mean, and for artists, being on stage is their happy place.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of them are socially awkward outside of that.
Yeah, so you say when you get home, it's when it's time to grind, and when you're out on the road, that's a vacation.
Yeah, it's when you're
a lot of
grinding
people
behind the
don't
scenes.
look at it that way. That's very interesting.
That's for sure. They don't. I mean, that can be a challenge, especially as a manager, when you run into situations like that, and you're like, okay, you're back home. Let's get to work. Let's do this. Let's do that. It's time to get on. Dealing with the proper types of content creation, and that definition probably needs to be defined better too, because I think a lot of people think that content creation is just throwing up posts and in a music video or a lyric video, and it's much deeper than that. And we can definitely get into that a little later.
Okay, so yeah, you mentioned like when they get home, it's time to grind. So how do you approach helping artists balance their creative work with the business side of their career? What do you do to help with that?
Man, I don't know if there's any one thing that I do to try and help them balance, other than I try to instill in them that, like, look, when you're home, yes, we need to set a schedule, and setting that schedule is going to be like just like any other job. Just like what I said, when you're out on tour, you're on vacation. But when you come home, you need to put in the time. And so let's set a schedule so that we can make sure that we're accomplishing the goals that we set out to accomplish within these strategies that we all talked about. And one of the reasons why you wanted me on as an artist manager and to begin with is to ensure that you are doing what you need to do to keep your career on track.
Just wondering, like, what do you do to help them balance that work life?
Yeah, I would say, just kind of trying to reiterate with them, like, what's important, and trying to keep, the top of mind things is like your fan base, building your fan base and staying engaged with them is what gives you the leverage to keep you or to get you back out on the road and touring.
Okay.
And without that, it begins to get a little bit shaky.
Okay, so let's switch gears here again. So you recently acquired a data metrics company that you're retooling to focus on fan engagement for music. Can you tell us more about that and how that would benefit an artist?
Yeah, so the company you're referring to is going to be called FanDemand.ai, and it's essentially taking rich data metrics and AI and all the marketing services that you traditionally see, and essentially blending all that stuff. And so, the key to creating leverage, like what I was saying just a second ago, that truly tips the scales in your favor, lie in developing interactive fan strategies. And many people just don't really fully grasp the incredible potential that comes with combining that rich data and AI that will allow you to converge all these world of opportunities out there for bands and artists. And so I think those who are going to embrace that and take time to understand that their growth depends on actively engaging with their fans across various interest levels, and that's a key word, are going to be the ones to thrive on. And that process is going to start by, identifying fan interest and taking action by incorporating that stuff into your content creation, your themes, your merchandise, your lyric videos, visualizers, contests, trends, anything that you can do to foster a deeper and more meaningful connection with your fans is going to turn them into passionate advocates for your music. And that's also going to cause them to become the catalyst for new music discovery, because they're going to be the word of mouth people out there. They're going to be saying, man, I ran across this band or this song or whatever, or this content, and I saw this stuff on social, and here's what they're doing. You should check them out and give them something different to talk about, because if you can pique their interest. And what I'm saying, so like, I'll give you an example. Let's say one of the bands that I'm working with is really into UFOs and Bigfoot theories and things like that. And so if you can begin to talk to groups that may have no idea that you're in a band, or that you're dealing with music or whatever, and you begin to talk in these forums, you begin to talk in these podcasts and stuff specifically about these other interest things, and now you begin to capture a different connection with a whole different group of people that now, because you're into UFOs and or Bigfoot, yeah, that it's like, hey, I'm going to go check them out. And because you have this like-minded thing, it's really interesting. But the psychology is that because you like that, I'm going to like what you like, and it begins to and then again, that's where the new music discovery catalyst can begin to happen, where they're like, hey, I found out that this guy is in XYZ band and he's really into UFOs. You should check him out. And all of a sudden you get on other podcasts that are talking about the same interest, and now you get a whole new audience to pitch your music to, as well as your personal interest and beliefs. So
Wes, you're basically saying you can somehow combine data to help with engagement in a in a way that I've never heard of before, and I'm sure most of the listeners have never heard of before either. We are so interested in learning more and more and more about that. So please keep staying with the Music Promotion Network and letting us know exactly where you're going with this continuously. That is fascinating. I mean, really.
Yeah, it continues to fascinate me. And one thing that I can say is that, like, if you're ever on an iPhone and you talk about something and all of a sudden you start seeing ads because of what because it's listening. Yeah. It's that same type of data that you can put to use for your music career. And that's exactly what it is that we're doing with Fan Demand.
It's incredible. I really, really are looking forward to that. You just don't know how this is going to help.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
So many people. And that's really the whole gist of it. It's like, we're here to help people in our own way. I do it through the network. You do it that way. We come together and we're helping a lot of people. That is so good. I'm just glad to even meet you, Wes. Really.
Well,
that's
likewise.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give an artist who is struggling to build a fan base or even maintain that consistent engagement that you were talking about with their audience?
Let's see, struggles. I would say an artist who can take time to truly understand, and you hear fan base come out of my mouth a lot because I really think that that's the center point, but who understands their fan base interest and actively engage with those interests at a deeper connection are the ones that are going to be the most likely to succeed. On the other hand, there's bands that rely solely on releasing just new music, booking tours, and without a clear strategy for cultivating that fan engagement. I think that they're just setting themselves up for disappointment. They're going to face the harsh reality that those fans are going to quickly shift elsewhere because there's so much going on. I mean, you got so much music being released on a daily basis that eventually their attention is going to get taken somewhere else because you stop trying to engage with them. And the good news is that if you know that, the outcome is entirely avoidable. You can, with the right approach, you can get right back on track and create your own strategy. If you think you're way off in the weeds and you've lost your fans, it's really easy to make a 90-degree turn and go, I know how to get them back. I just got to, take an inventory of what we've got going on and say, all right, we're listening again and we want to know what's going on and we're here for you, and begin to reel them back in. I think fans are at the center. You just have to know what drives your revenue streams, and that's true engagement with your fans.
That is some great advice. It's kind of reminds me of that old G.I. Joe slogan. Now you know. Would it say knowing is half the battle?
That's right. It is. I mean, I think people get too complex with things a lot of times because you got all this, tech and marketing, and everybody's trying to figure out, the latest and greatest little cheat code. And yes, there are cheat codes that you can really put to use for sure. But it's a matter of, how genuine are you going to be with those cheat codes? How genuine are you going to be with the data and the fan opportunities that you get with those cheat codes?
I am so glad you even mentioned that. The complexity of technology is kind of intimidating for a lot of artists. And I'm glad you brought that up, because with technology and even the things you're talking about, it almost sounds like it's getting more complicated, but you're saying you have a way to simplify things. Is that what you're saying?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think we do. The simplification is that once you boil all this stuff down, taking all the data and parsing it into usable components of fan data, and then you merge that into your what music you have to offer and the content that you can create. To me, it gets a lot more narrowly focused into knowing how to communicate with your fans, rather than just taking all these shotgun approaches and saying, well, if I could just get this many more viewers on YouTube, and if I could just get this, it's not about viewers anymore. It's about interest. It's about gaining the interest of the fan base and not just having 1 million viewers. It does you no good to have 1 million people on Facebook or Instagram or, whatever your social media flavor is of the month if they're not engaging with you. And I've seen several times where, I start working with a band and they've got 30,000 people on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And you'll notice as you start to put content out that the engagement's just not there. The numbers look like they're there, but the engagement's not there. And it's like, okay, why is that? And, it's not just an algorithm thing. It's not just that you're being, that the social media platforms aren't showing it to the masses. It's that you're just not connecting from an interest level to be able to be dished out to those groups at an interest level basis. And that's something fairly new, as far as how the social media platforms are doing things, to where, yes, they used to throttle the number of people that they would shoot out the whenever you post content, they would throttle how many people see it. And then if that began to take hold, then it would throttle it out a little bit more, or open up the gate a little bit more, and open up the gate a little bit more, depending on interactivity and, comments and things like that would happen. And now it's a lot more interest based, where, I'm sure that the algorithm is doing somewhat similar things, but again, focusing on interest based content with your fans and knowing what your fans are interested in are going to help you open up those floodgates even more.
I really love your approach and insight into that side of it, because I'm sure a lot of people don't even know that. I love it. So how do you see the role of artist manager in evolving in today's music industry, especially with the rise of social media and independent promotional tools?
Management, I think most management companies or managers, I think, have taken the lead on the creative side of like social media management, or at least the ones that I know of have really tried that. Or they use a third party that they work with that is good in, social media management and marketing, and they'll bring them in. And to me, I think any management company that isn't doing that is doing a huge disservice to the artist, because that's where everything is right now. I mean, that's how you build your fan base. That's how you communicate. That's how you do ticket sales. It's not so much just throw it up on Ticketmaster or any other ticket site or whatever and expect it, especially unless you're a gigantic band, that has the major media behind you. Mm-hmm. But on which most of us aren't playing at that level. Most of us are dealing with bands that don't have that access. And so, I think that social media plays a huge role, and management in that is like, you got to keep your artists understanding that they have to, get in and understand how to use those tools.
And I like the way you put it. Like, if the management isn't doing that, they're doing a huge disservice to the artist. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause you got to remember that for many years, the music industry operated under a standardized and really tightly controlled business model. And, you had gatekeepers that were really, really difficult to bypass. And today, it's more like the Wild Wild West. And, record labels still support certain artists, like I was saying. But a lot of times what you'll find is that the artists that they are supporting are artists that, they gained attention by doing exactly what I've kind of been outlining here in this discussion. And so the playing field is a lot more level than it ever has been before. It's just a matter of what you do with it. There's, like I said earlier, I think it's like 120 or 150,000 songs that are released on streaming platforms daily.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
And so the competition for listeners' attention is insane. It's immense. And so to improve your chances of standing out, it really kind of starts with two components: creating great music, and then building and actively engaging with fan base. And if you can scale both, then you gain leverage necessary to do everything that you need to succeed. And I think that, what you have to kind of understand is that when I use that word leverage, these things that require you to succeed are when you can leverage the fan base and get the fan base engaged in your music and at your interest levels, and then you begin to ask for the ticket sales, ask them to come to the shows, and you're actually talking with them rather than to them. And that's another big key thing, is like you want to kind of get down to their level where you're not just another ad being thrown at them, because they see tons of that. You just have to be willing to adapt, to the constant changes that are going on out there, and find the opportunities that are going to connect with people and seize those opportunities.
Wow, Wes, I like how you said the artists that are getting signed are the ones that basically have their stuff together already. So why they even need a label? That's what I want to know.
Right. Yeah, well, and a lot of people don't. I mean, a lot of bands turn down label deals now. And I say bands because I primarily deal with bands. I know we're talking artists, but, I use it, it's the same thing to me. But yeah, I think that, I think in this day and age, labels can serve a purpose, but I think that being self-sufficient as an artist, if you have good management, or even the band is just well managed within themselves, or the artist is well managed with themselves, maybe they don't need a manager if they really know how to handle things themselves, you can succeed easily without a label. It happens much more now than it ever has.
So what's the one piece of advice you give to every artist that you manage? The one piece of advice.
I would say my advice is genuinely, be genuine about everything that you've got going on. Good music is your foundation. Connection with audiences are what sets you apart. And always keep that in mind.
That's some great advice. As an artist manager, what motivates you to keep pushing forward? in such a competitive and ever-changing industry? What drives you?
I think kind of what we just talked about a minute ago, with the fact that everything was, so standardized for a long period of time in the music industry and was tightly controlled. And I'm really motivated by the fact that the ground is always moving underneath us. And that means that if the ground is moving underneath us, there's always new opportunities there to be had. And so I'm super motivated by that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so what I hear is you embrace change. That's what I hear.
I love it. Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah. No, I love change, because that, you get to pave your own way. When there's change happening, you can pave your own way. And, like I was saying, the old school way of the music industry, it was very constrained and very difficult to break through. And we wouldn't have been talking about anything outside of a record label years and years ago. So, and it's the cool, I know that there's probably a lot of young people that are listening right now, and they're like, don't even know what a record label necessarily is or does, or, it's like, I'm an independent artist.
Is,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
What's a record is.
Right. So yeah, record now is just, the fact that you can record something.
Right. So Wes, before we wrap up, I know many artists are watching today and would love to connect with you and learn more about what Red Alert Music Group offers. So where can they go to find out more, and how can they reach you if they're interested in working with you?
So our website is redalertrocks.com. I mean, you can find us on most of the major social platforms by searching Red Alert Rocks. I will say, admittedly, we're currently in our expansion phase. We got a lot of outside interest too, especially with the fandemand.am, or not AM, AI. And, so our focus is not so much prioritizing on services that we're providing outside of our artists and the consulting clients that we currently have. Not that we're not looking for other people. We're always looking for other artists to work with and stuff like that. But I would say that from a perspective of, like, if you go to our socials and you go to our website, or you go to these things, what you may not notice the cool stuff that we do at those locations. You have to kind of begin to know the artists that we're working with and consulting with to be able to kind of see those things in action. So the best thing is to, if you reach out and we can have a conversation, if you really think that you're at a point where you need management, and that's another key thing too, is a lot of people think that, I need artist management because I don't know where I'm going. That's not necessarily what you need. You're going to have to do some soul searching there to find out where you need to go. But I would say, yeah, just hit us up, send us EPKs, and we'll take a look at them. And, I look forward to seeing what other potential exists out there.
That is great, Wes. And everyone who's watching, don't worry about it. We will have links here at the Music Promotion Network. So just stick with us, and we can make sure that you have the right contact for whatever Wes is working on now and in the future. Because like he said, he embraces change. So that's the one example of why we're here at the Music Promotion Network. This network is designed to be your go-to resources for tools, strategies, and connections to help you grow your music career. It's not just about this summit. It's about creating a community of support for independent artists year-round. And Wes, thank you so much for sharing your expertise and giving us the behind-the-scenes look at artist management. Your insights have been invaluable, and I know our audience has learned so much from you today. So
I hope so.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I do appreciate it.
All right. So for everyone tuning in, remember, the Music Promotion Network is here to help you every step of the way. So whether you're looking for tools, strategies, industry insights, connections, this is the place for you. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you'll never miss out on future content that we have coming out. And together, we're building a stronger community for indie artists everywhere. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Music Promotion Network. Thank you.